think when you look at the mountains and study the many, many years that these mountains were created, it makes you realize that the answer to the success of your business is not necessarily today. It's not necessarily this week. It may not even be this year. It's built over time. That doesn't mean you can skip the concentration on this day or this week or this year.
Hundreds of North Texas residents are pointing the finger at a chemical company they say poisoned them.
If I didn't believe it was a safe place to work, I wouldn't be here.
Plaintiffs worked for a railway company that transported chemicals like benzene.
And the chemical plant today is safer than it is in the general community.
They say the Herbst-Celanese plant is to blame for Down syndrome.
As the dawn breaks in Dallas, 5 million men, women, and children begin their days. They share a connection to what's important in their lives through one of the nation's most trusted, widely used sources of news and information, BELO.
Big changes could be coming to the preschool program.
Well, we see quite a bit more of that.
These franchises are part of the Texas cluster of BELO companies, working together to strengthen and extend their regional leadership every day. It's an approach practiced by BELO nationwide.
I had always been the one pointing a finger at TI, saying those costs are too high. You don't know what you're doing. You can't answer questions when we ask you as the SBU.
I'm a client delivery executive for eSolutions. I work on the GM account, and I have a couple of the sectors. EDS University is probably the only way that I can keep up to speed in what's coming down the pike and still do the job I've got.
Once I realized that the credit union was in the path of the tornado, I immediately called down to our computer room. After I talked to Leo, he told me nobody was hurt. My first reaction was to go down and check out the systems.
The tornado knocked out the backup generator that we had, so we were running on battery power.
We had to make sure the servers and everything stayed up as if it never occurred.
I see a group of people who feel they're a team, who feel they have a sense of family, who feel they have a common purpose. They know their objective. They realize they're a critical cog in the wheel.
We have not been GM folks and EDSers. We've been one GM, the Argentina team.
Yes, we are one team, and we are very proud about that.
The systems and the infrastructure that we implemented here in Argentina is enabling GM Argentina to be part of the global GM community.
We've given a lot of thought over the years in the transition of the company to how we can create premiership. I think it's more important as a focus tool to that philosophy than it is as a word or a definition. I think if your people reflect on it, put their own personal interpretation into it, talk about it as a group, decide collectively what it means for this plant or this refinery or this coal mine, it's transportable.
The Renewables project planned for Fort Davis will require teamwork from Central and Southwest's 4 electric companies, state regulators, environmentalists, the scientific community, and Fort Davis residents. Our work is before us to provide for the energy needs of our customers and their children and their grandchildren, and to do that in a way that's reliable and economical and that does not come at a great cost to our planet.
We need to learn how to generate our electricity from sustainable sources that are not eventually going to run out.
People realize that this is a better way of generating electricity than air pollution.
We put this thing together at the speed of light, and to take an initiative from a business plan development on February 14th and launch it on October 25th is quite an accomplishment.
We actually delivered 3 days ahead of schedule and under budget.
We've done everything that we we as a team, EDS and AFODIA, said we were going to do. And I think if we continue with this and we can meet all our objectives, I think we will be a success, and I think we'll be one of the few left standing.
At the end of the day, to AFODIA, really, EDS is one solution provider, regardless of the number of practices that constitute EDS.
I think this was an excellent example of collaboration between the different lines of business within EDS that benefited the customer and EDS.
After all, we might represent each of our practices, however, we all work for one company called EDS.